Hi, it's Mark Owen from Moose Marketing and PR, the editor of Punchline Magazine, and welcome to Punchline Talks. Today I'm at Gloucester Quays in Gloucester, and with David Jones from Evans Jones. Great to see you again,
Mark.
David.
Lovely to see you.
Now, last time we met, we were at in Cheltenham with the ice rink, and we chatted and waxed lyrical about how good that was for Cheltenham, and here we are now in Gloucester and the Quays. I mean, it is, not being funny, it's been a game changer, hasn't it?
For this area particularly, Mark. I mean, this has been open now 14 years, opened in 2009. My company, Evans Jones, were responsible for the client's agent work on the wonderful travel lodge, so all part of the rich mix of uses here, and it's still ongoing. Development is still ongoing with Bakers Quay now underway. So, it's lovely to be back and to review how it's done in the last 14 years, what works, what doesn't work maybe, and let's have a look.
And I don't know if you know, but I actually came here as a member of the Gloucester Urban Regeneration Company, actually came here when they were building the site, so
I think, for us being old, we remember what this site was like, prior to its development. I actually did a study on this when I was at school. The docklands, the canals, it's linked to, far and wide, and what state it had got into. So it's marvellous to see what can be created through really, really good quality urban regeneration.
And a massive amount of investment by Peel holders. We've got to take our hat off to them because they really saw that there was something special here, didn't they? And everyone remembers that over in the far corner over there was the bowling alley. Indeed. There was Pizza Hut, there was the old cinema, and the road that went absolutely nowhere. Anyway,
hats off to the developers, Peel Holdings in this instance, who had the foresight to invest in this massive refurbishment. And these things aren't without massive risk in terms of cost of build. You build, are people going to come? And as we can see now, 14 years later, boy have they come. And this provides a really great space for Gloucester. I live in Cheltenham. I still come here because it's created a destination in its own right, and that's what these sort of places, and that's where regeneration can really work. So, let's look at our government, where seed funding can come from government and they can help support developments like this. It works because you then get all of the added benefits that come with the wider dock area. We'll talk about the food dock in a moment and how that's creating additional footfall, how the owners of this have supported the ice rink, which is here over the Christmas period. All helps to bring footfall. But let's have a look at.
Okay, we're going left out. So obviously we went right. That would take us to the sort of big brands like Crew and June and all the rest of it.
That's right.
And then around here we got our friends from ProCook, obviously M&S, which was an anchor store, original store here.
Exactly, a big bit of floor space within this development. So, and it's always essential that these developments get their anchor store. So well done to M&S. And we can see today it's a rainy Tuesday afternoon, and why do people come here? Because it's undercover. You've got a great selection of food and drink offerings both within the quays and within the wider environment, and then such a great selection. Let's have a look at this, Mark. Gloucester Rugby.
Oh, I love Gloucester Rugby, as you do as well. They're not doing very
close to my heart. Unfortunately, I was watching them recently, do not so well, but obviously there's my Christmas present sorted for this year. Thank you very much, Mark.
Don't tempt me, mate. Don't tempt me. And I'll tell you what they're doing at the moment. They've got a few concessions in the middle as well. Do you kind of agree with those sorts of stuff, or is it just,
I think it's a really careful balance, isn't it? You don't want a place like this to look cluttered. You need people to be able to see from one end to the other. Let's look what's there. ProCook at one end, workshop at the other. So if you have too many, it starts to feel a little bit cluttered. So I think if they provide something which is of quality and brings people into the centre, then it's good. I think if you end up with too much tap, it can be negative. But the balance is about right at the moment. So let's watch that space and see how that goes. The retail offering is the primary reason people come here, and it's dry. Just mentioned it's pouring rain outside, so why would you want to go to a traditional British high street where you're going to get wet and you're going to get cold? Parking's difficult here. Thousands of parking spaces on site at a reasonable cost, but it's about here, but it's also about supporting the city centre as well.
Well, that's the argument, isn't it? When it first was built, and now, has it sucked money out of this city centre? My argument's always been that no, it's actually brought people from Bath, it's brought people from Cardiff, from Merthyr, from all over.
No, I mean it's a perennial argument, and we'll probably never get everybody agree on whether it's good or bad. But is Gloucester any worse because of this? No. Has it got benefits? Yes, it has. I mean, now we see the Forum being developed. We've had the bus station redevelopment, King Square. We've got the university going into the former Debenhams building, and all of that is supporting and helping support the wider economy. And what developments like this do bring is confidence. They bring confidence that something will work, and commerce and business and retail will come to an area. So I'm pro this sort of out of town or edge of town shopping. Out of town completely, that's a different story really, but we're not here to discuss that. So as we go out, we get into the areas which are more business related and food and beverage. We've still got some retail offering, but here you get a wonderful impression of what the buildings formerly were about. Look at these marvellous buildings, absolutely beautiful. Now, when we were here, 20 years ago,
wow,
there was a scrapyard at the end.
It was a scrapyard.
There was a sprayer.
Yes, and a paint. I remember an old getting an MOT done here years ago as well, isn't it?
This road, I remember, it was full of scrap cars. It was dirty. It was smelly. It was horrible.
And you wouldn't come down here late at night, would you?
Absolutely not. So to have, the foresight that Peel had and their architects to, create this thing of beauty that we have now, I think is fantastic. And if we look, if you pan round, you can see that view up to the cathedral with the food dock just ahead of it. The food dock, as you know, and I think we've done other videos on that, independent food operators, independent bar, various food and drink offerings, all from the local area. Now, that is exactly what investment in this sort of area should create. And then it's Christmas at the moment, so we've got the ice ring. I've spoken many times about the ice ring, and ice rings generally what they do for town centres. They bring footfall, and Cheltenham have now copied it. So we were there a couple of weeks ago looking at the ice ring and what that does for Cheltenham and how it brings people here. The owners here saw that very, very early and invested in it and subsidised it for its early years. Now I'm sure it's self-sufficient and generates its own buzz.
Now before we go, we've got to see its Roller Express has just opened a couple of weeks ago. It's non-retail, it's supposed to be fun, funky. Will it bring in the younger people? Would you just like to see it in retail?
Well, yes, I do. Some may disagree, but I think within retail centres like this, you need things that bring people here. It's all about footfall. Bring people here, and they will shop. This is an ideal opportunity. They're open till 10 o'clock some evenings, 8 o'clock most evenings. Brilliant. Brings football to the town. Brings football to this centre. Brilliant. I love it.
David, thanks ever so much for joining Punchline Talk today again.
Thank you.